What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, except this video we're outdoors. Isn't this crazy? I just thought I would do a quick little walk around of the new winter vehicle and talk about it for a brief second, show you some of the things about it, talk about how much I paid, what we've done to it already in the past week or so that I've had this, and my impressions about it so far. So right here, this is my 2001 Chevy Tahoe LT, and as it sits right now, which I'll show you when we get into the interior, it has about 151 and change thousand miles. It is a 5.3 liter V8. There's some cool little unique things about this vehicle that I definitely want to show you because it's so windy. It's like windy as balls. Windy balls. Airplanes and trains and windy balls. That's what we get to do when we're just trying to show this damn truck. You gotta be joking with me right now. Unreal. Unflippin' real. People doing burnouts. Fucking craziness going on here. Come on, wind. Where are you coming from right now? What is the purpose of this nonsense? Let's go. Get out of here. Some of the unique features are based around the fact that I believe this is a retired police vehicle, and I'm the second owner. So there's not much of a better place to start than the interior. This is the creature comfort area. This is where you're gonna end up spending pretty much the most of your time, obviously. I'm not gonna be sitting inside the engine bay or in the trunk, so this is where we're gonna be. As you can see getting into it, it's very clean. 17-year-old vehicle, 17 years, you know, it's very clean. That was one of the things that struck me immediately when I saw it online for sale, is that it's very clean, but I'm gonna show you real quick up close. This is gonna be one of those videos where I do point out the issues. This was one of them. There is a tear here, and a small mark here, but in general, this seat is great. I did clean it, so I'm not touching somebody's butt jizz. Don't worry about that. It does have tons of storage, so we've got room everywhere. Now this, I already wired up my my Guardian Krios Mini dash cam, so that's what I'll be rolling with on this vehicle for now. And I did a pretty clean install. I went all the way around, came back down, went down here, drooped around, and I think it looks pretty cool. The vehicle I'm going to talk about in a second has a radio, which doesn't work, but here we go. We have, like I said, like boatloads of storage. I haven't gotten in there yet. I think the guy before that detailed this, he must have had stock purchased with Armor All, so that's it's annoying, but it's clean. That's number one. So let's I almost walked right into the door. Unbelievable. This is the back. Now the back is the most important part. It being clean and the fact that there's room was the most important part, because this vehicle will be hauling my child, and that is the most important part of my life. So we do have the car seat in this vehicle. If you saw the previous video to this, you'd know that my car is gone currently, probably for the next couple weeks. So it was such good timing that I did find this, and now I have this to just, there's no rush now. I'm not in a bad way about it. I still, like I said, there's a lot of room. Here's another mark. There's a little mark here. But all in all, the seats are, holy shit, see? That's a baby thing. Holy crap, guys. So I haven't been down here yet, and that probably explains one of the noises I was hearing. But here's a little sneak peek at what is going on here. I don't know if any of you can read that, hopefully, because I'm upside down holding it, but this vehicle, as far as I know, was a retired undercover car of such, probably some kind of like New York detective. I'm thinking. I'm gonna show you more evidence toward that as we go along, but apparently there's a siren. I don't know where it is, and I don't want to know where it is. It's probably disconnected, which is fine with me because I don't need to go to jail. How is this? guess we'll just leave that alone. So on the other side, it's a lot more of the same, except this seat has 0 issues. There's lots of room, ton of leg room. The carpet is crazy good condition, unreal. Now, like I said, police vehicle, there was something mounted here, here, and here, I believe. I don't know what it was. Probably some kind of laptop stand or something. But there's a grip here, which I happen to really like. And then, obviously, that drops down. Now, we're gonna go to the back real quick. Not a whole lot to show back here, just my baby's car seat. So, but like I said, everything's super clean. So this vehicle is a 3-row fitted vehicle. I did leave these up for right now to show you. You just pull this and push and you have some more room, but what I'm gonna end up doing is just taking these out and storing these in the house, because that's just a whole lot of extra room that I gain with these out. Then you're gonna say, well, why else do you think it's a cop car? I'm gonna show you this too, don't worry. So like I said a little bit before, there is police strobes and there's some kind of siren somewhere. So I'm gonna put the lights on, I'm gonna show you what I mean. If you noticed down here, there's some kind of switch box. Now, I don't know, after this video, I'm probably just gonna have these disabled because I'm not gonna be driving around with that. So this doesn't work, this doesn't work, but this button does. So we have the key in the ignition, and then once there's power, obviously this turns on. So I'm gonna push this. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but we're gonna do a quick walk around and show you what works and what doesn't. I don't know if you can see them both going off. Like I said, this is a poor area for filming, but there's a strobe and a strobe. I don't know if you can see. And then we walk all the way to the back. This is where it just starts getting insanely ridiculous. So we've got strobes all over the place. In the middle light, the bottom light, and then up top it moves around. It's pretty intense. Well, for me, I'm not used to having strobes because I'm not a police officer. So we're gonna shut that off real quick. But I'm gonna show you one thing. So inside the grill here, there's 2 additional lights. They don't actually work. But again, we're not going to figure that out. We're just gonna disable this nonsense because I don't wanna get in trouble. This is the engine. It's a 5.3 liter, which from what I've been told is a pretty stout engine. Lasts a long time. Obviously, everything is very clean in here. I've had not many things happen. So while we're in here, let's talk about some of the things, and then I'll walk around and show you and talk about some of the small issues we've had, what we've done to fix it, what was actually invested into this car. So the first thing is I bought this vehicle for $4,500. It's a very good engine. So what we swapped so far is when we first got the car, it had an ABS and a brake light on. That kept coming on every time I would hit like a bump. So in the wheels, we changed the wheel speed sensors on both sides. And while we were there, we swapped the brake pads. And you know, well, when I say we, my buddy Troy, I'm gonna put his link in the description. He's got a YouTube and he also has an Instagram. He's the mechanically inclined of the bunch here, so he did most of the work. I was mostly comic relief and I helped a little bit, so I'm proud of that, but that's what I did. So that was done. The other issue we had, it did throw a code at one point, and it was something with the knock sensor, a low voltage or a low circuit, whatever the case was. So I did some reading online, and apparently it's a common thing that this vehicle, the knock sensors, one or both of them goes, and also the harness attached. Now that was a kind of an in-depth thing. I didn't film it because, well, we were just trying to get things done and it was kind of cold, so even though we were in a garage, this behemoth barely fit. So the whole manifold had to come off, and there's 2 sensors, 2 knock sensors, and then there's a harness that attaches both of them and connects. So all of that was swapped. That code has no longer come on. The install was very good. The only other thing related to the motor and driving that this vehicle is going to need, and it doesn't necessarily absolutely need it, but it's going to get done, are plugs and wires. 151,000 miles on the car. I don't know if anything was swapped, but I'm not taking any chances. A small investment, and it's gonna be a huge benefit down the line because I do plan on keeping this, like I said, for winter and probably a little bit after that. I don't know. I love the idea of having a truck, so I definitely want to get a truck as my second vehicle. I don't know, I probably want to get something new, so I am looking at vehicles. I'm not going to talk about what I'm looking at or what I'm thinking about because my mind changes like the second hand of a clock, so it's just not worth speaking about yet. But like I said, everything looks good, everything feels good. Brakes feel good now. They weren't the best when we got it. Now they feel better with the new pads. So as far as everything mechanical, it's clean and it looks good, and I'm pumped about that. So let's go to the back. I'm going to show you one other thing that was wrong. When we first got this vehicle, it was missing this, and the other one was there, but it was like barely hanging on. I went on eBay. It seems like everything is very cheap for this vehicle with good reason. It's a very popular motor, and this has been around for a long time. So for like 18 bucks or 14 bucks, whatever it was, new license plate bulb housings, and they're LEDs now. They fit in snug and they look great. Everything's beautiful about it. As you can see, this car does have a tow and haul setup, which is cool. Would I tow or haul with it? I doubt it. I have nothing to tow or haul at the moment. Maybe the kitty cat one day just for shits and giggles. We shall see. All right, so the next thing we're gonna show real quick before we hop on the inside of the car is the engine. I said it was very quiet. There's no crazy noises. Fluid, oh, that's the other thing we changed. We changed the oil and the filter on it as soon as we got it back when we were doing all the other stuff, so it's got fresh oil. And she sounds like a monster. She runs very smooth. She's got power. I don't know, man. 150,000 miles. I'm told this thing could go easy 250 as long as you maintain it, take care of it. Everything seems good. I mean, minor things here and there, it definitely could benefit from an alignment. I'm gonna get everything looked at as time goes on if I decide to keep it for a little bit longer than I initially thought. But for right now, the engine doesn't shake. It feels very smooth. I think I got very lucky, like I said. So now we're inside the car, and we're gonna talk about the only two issues I really had on the inside of the car. Number one, that was the most annoying. When we first got the vehicle, it didn't have a knob on there. So I went on eBay and I purchased the knob. So I got a whole set. It was like $5. Not a problem, right? Pretty awesome. Here's the problem. You can turn it on and it's reading that it wants to play music, but there's no sound. No sound comes out. I have little to no idea as to why that is. I read online, some people said to try to unplug fuses and then plug it back in. I tried that, nothing happened. Some people were saying to check the amp. I haven't really had the time to do that just yet, so I will plan on checking that. But one thing about this is the heat works, so that's the heat setup. And then over here we have the setup for the rear, which everything works. Now, here's a story about this. When I first got the car, for whatever reason, I keep calling it a car, it's a truck. When I first got this vehicle, it was not blowing hot air. And obviously, hot air, well, warm air at least, at the very least, it's winter time now. You know, today's a little bit of a warmer day, but in general, for winter, you really want it to warm up the back of the car. There's vents back there as well, but it wasn't doing that. And I started to hear, this is above my head, right on the headliner, I started to hear a slight buzz. So I did a little research on that, and there's a piece inside here, some kind of AC temperature control something, in-cabin temperature control for something in here. So I ordered the part for like 20 bucks, swapped it. Now all of a sudden we have pretty damn hot air on request. So usually what I end up doing is, you know, keeping it like that, and I only like do that. This way it's not gonna melt my daughter, you know what I mean? But everything looks good. As you can tell, it's got 100 and, oh, that's a great number. That's a horrible freaking omen. Jesus, I didn't even notice that. 151 in devil horns. Now, like I said, the radio doesn't work, but there is a CD player and a cassette player. So I'm gonna have to figure that out eventually. As of right now, I'm just sitting here listening to Spotify on my cell phone, and that's no bueno. I don't want to do that. Here's another cool feature that I like. There is heated seats, and they work on both sides. There's heated seats, there's lumbar. Hopefully I remember that those are there and my wife doesn't sit on them. There is lumbar. I'll show you on the side of the door with another tear there. There's all these seat controls, and then there is lumbar. It does work. Now that I remember real quick, another cool thing is this, which I don't know much about. I'm assuming you put your headphones in and you can adjust the volume. Again, I don't have any sound, so I don't know what that's gonna do, but it does have cup holders that fall down. It does have all of the controls and amenities for that third row, which I will be taking out though. And I think this is potentially to control the third row. I'm not sure. But so far so good. It looks really nice. So it's the last little part. I'm just gonna show you. It does drive, and it does have some power. Look at this. She wants to go, baby. This vehicle's got some balls. Obviously it's a heavy vehicle, and that wasn't even flooring it, so she sounds good. But as you can see, I'll show you how. You know, granted that's not super impressive, but for a heavy vehicle I think that's kind of impressive, and especially for a vehicle that I would say, like I said, could benefit from plugs and wires. Do I drive like that normally? Nope, because it's an older vehicle. That was a one-time situation for you knuckleheads. I feel like this vehicle is gonna last me for quite a while, because I do actually drive it pretty tame, and I treat it with a lot of respect because I want this thing to last. Alright, so here's a fun fact to get close to closing the video out. This truck is too wide with the mirrors fully erect for it to fit in. So you have to do one of these things so you can pull in. So now for me to fit this in, this is one of these like circus acts here. I have to hug this wall, and by hug this wall I really mean like get pretty decently close, and then I have an antenna. So now I can open that again. I have an antenna that touches. So now the antenna touches. Okay. I mean, I'm close. I don't know where my light, I have a laser right here, and I know where that's supposed to hit on the charger. Oh, see, look at that. Here we go. Alright, we got room there. Here's a fun fact. Let me show you what I had to do. So I used to have 2 bars that went across the roof here, but that handle was gonna hit it, so I had to take those off. And the only issue we have is this touches things. But we clear. I mean, there's not a lot of room for error. The last thing I want to talk about is this. I had to replace the mirrors, and I'm gonna explain why. Do you see what I'm doing here? So I tried to do something simple just like that. So when I decided to pull the car into the garage and check it out, as you can see, it's not supposed to move that easy. I was watching videos. There's a spring, something in here. I might be able to fix it. The only thing that I'm gonna try to do is, this is color matched to the car, and these are black, but they work. They function. They're not the best quality, but you know, like I said, they're manual mirrors. Everything looks good for now, but you know, we're in this for right now. I'm not gonna be parking this car in the garage after the car comes back, so that's it. It's whatever. Look at it shine. Overall, it's fine. It's gonna get me through winter, probably a little bit after that, but then it's gone, just like everything else. Kitty stays. This has got to go. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please leave a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the new winter beater. So we're gonna call this the hoe, obviously, because it's a Tahoe. So this is my winter hoe, and that's about it. Looks pretty good. everything's clean. I'm pretty happy. I'm excited. I got a freaking 2-year inspection sticker. Let's go, baby. See you guys on the next one.